Okay, recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 12th of July 2011. Well, that was quite a day. We had huge sell-off after the close, kind of pre-open, following Europe down 20-point plus move down. You can see on the 4,500 tick chart, this yesterday's close, today's open. And then we rallied from then, kind of almost like a complex correction all the way up till after the FOMC announcement, where we had a kind of a burst of activity, exhaustion buying, Rambo pattern. We kind of sold off into the close. On the 40,500 tip bar chart, we're kind of below cyclical support here, coming up to a cyclical turning point, which would probably be a pullback and a downtrend. I mean, there was quite a lot of professional activity on a whole bunch of charts, kind of holding these lows, or at least kind of getting in on these lows. But we're a couple of days away from those cyclical lows being made, so I think this is just kind of the first step in, kind of toes in the water type stuff, trying to pick up those lows. So still think the trajectory is kind of down, but we might have a little bit of strength in a couple of markets. It's certainly not going to be just a straight shot down, seemingly. Volume for the day ended up about 2.1 million contracts traded, closing at 1310. Personally, didn't have a good day's trading. One trade for a loss of 2.5. On this 4,500 tick chart, I was trying to get short. I got short at 1314.50, kind of early on in the piece here, and held with it until I finally got out at 1317, kind of around here. And I was just hoping this complex correction kind of all the way up would eventually kind of give way. This kind of trend line would break, but it became obvious kind of coming up to 11 o'clock in the morning that nothing was going to happen pre-FOMC. And actually I'm pretty glad I got out then, because I'm not sure I would have got this move here at all. So yeah, just one trade for a 2.5 point loss for me. But got a great little email from Paul M, who said, "Hi Barry, I just finished my first morning trade today, July 12th, 7:20 a.m. long 1304." So this is kind of pre-open. I was expecting this to be an icebreaker, and at 4 points it was my one shot, one kill. So, really nice little trade where he made 4 points. I did not think of letting it run, and then watched it almost touch 1314, and I felt as if I should have waited for an exit signal versus a hard stop at 4 points. I feel bad for missing out on the run, but I was done for the day at 7:46 a.m. Eastern with my quota, so I should feel great. Is there a better answer to this trade exit? Thanks so much for your time and teachings. You're the best. Well, a bit of an exaggeration there, but anyway, let's just go through this trade, because I think it's a really good one. Okay, so let's take a look at that trade. It was taken pre-open. You can see here on the 4,500 tip bar chart, it was around here, long at 1304. Pre-open can sometimes be very slow and tedious to trade, but because of the news out of Europe last night, the actual pre-open was moving pretty fast, so that was kind of a positive. We had sold off with all these kind of amateur down bars, Rambo patterns and so on, down to this 1295 level, kind of quickly kind of moved away from there. You can see kind of professional activity kind of getting the move going, a little bit of profit taking up here. But then the first test back down was a professional down bar here at the lows, and then we broke the highs of those bars. So it was a nice place as a pullback level in this kind of trend move to get in at 1304. So that's the first thing to say. If we go down to the 1500 tip bar chart, see a little bit more detail. So this is the sell-off with the European news, and then this whole bunch of professional activity kind of getting on board this move when kind of they seemingly saw the low was in. And then we initially kind of come back up to 1310 and sell off, and there are these professional bars kind of coming in at a cyclical support on the 1500 tip bar chart. So it's a gutsy play, so for Paul to take that trade, and then he was out in at 1304, out at 1308, and the thing went to 1314 up here. And then if we look down at the 500 tip bar chart, you can see here how that bottom was made. We raced away into an uptrend, kind of exhaustion buying flush signals, and then sold off, and there's that blue professional bar, and then we kind of went to 1314. So I'm particularly keen on 4-point targets just to get out and be done for the day, but how could you have played this and got a little bit more out of this? And I'd have two suggestions. The first one is, on the 1500 tip bar chart, what you're playing is the cyclical support coming in here, professional activity, very weak selling at this point, and that cyclical support is actually going to hold. So the target from a cyclical support is to the cyclical resistance area. So that's one idea, first of all, that you're actually playing this move so to hold until you get that cyclical resistance signal up here. Similarly, on a 4,500 tip bar chart, if you were playing a cyclical run, so for example from this support, you'd be playing to that resistance, or a support area here to that resistance, and so on. So if you're getting in on a cyclical support or resistance, look for the opposite signal as an exit signal. The next thing to say is, again on this chart, you're looking at the professionals on this 1500 tip bar chart buying it in here. So you want to be looking for the next place where they are exiting their trade. So the next place that you see the professionals active is right up here, right up at 1316. So if you'd had the stomach to hold all the way to there, that's the next time that the professionals kind of appear on this chart. So that's, you know, the symmetry, if you like, that you get from this move. If you're buying a cyclical low, get out of the cyclical high, or if you're buying the professional activity that was buying into this, wait for a professional bar where they're getting out. So that needs to be a rising professional bar to be getting out. If you'd seen a professional down bar on this little kind of correction here, that would be just professionals picking up the move and waiting for a continuation of it. So you'd need a professional up bar to be signaling an exit here. And this is just a little note on this kind of complex correction here. First of all, you see the amateurs kind of getting wrong-footed a little bit. They kind of take it up too early. Then they think, oh, maybe this is going into a downtrend, and they start kind of selling it here, and they get wrong-footed again. So you often see these little kind of professional pattern, amateur patterns here in congestion moves like that, signaling the high and the low of this little congestion move. Then we keep on going. So that's the first kind of suggestion on the chart that you're trading. Look for the symmetry in either the cycles or the professional activity to get in and out. The next suggestion is on the 500 tip bar chart, looking for an end of trend warning signal in conjunction with a divergence pattern on better momentum. So you're in long here at 1304, right down at the bottom. The first time that you start to see a clean end of trend signal was right up here. You saw a kind of a dirty one here. That's actually a pullback printing there to a dirty kind of end of trend here that happened after exhaustion, buying, and a bearish divergence. So we know we're losing a little bit of steam here. So that would be another point to be getting out here, and that's up at 1312. So that's still a good trade there. During this congestion move here, you can see the professionals kind of picking up these lows and kind of pushing this move on. So again, if you'd had the stomach to sit through this congestion, then the clean end of trend signal that you see up here with all of these blue professional bars here after a final surge of buying and bearish divergence right up here would be another signal to kind of get out. So if you are the kind of trader that likes to hold kind of longer term and be are happy to sit through a little bit of garbage along the way, there are ways of getting out of these moves with a lot more than the kind of hard for profit target that I use. And so those are my suggestions. So look on the lower time frames for an end of trend warning signal in conjunction with divergence patterns after exhaustion buying, either up at this level or a dirty kind of pattern here. Or if you're trading the chart, the time frame that you're actually trading, if it happens to be a cyclical move with professional activity, look for the symmetry in this move to see a resistance with professional activity on the reverse side in order to get out. So there you go, Paul. Thanks for the email, and great little trade, gutsy trade. Glad you got out with 4. There was some more in it, like you say, and that would be my suggestion, how to get out with a little bit more. So hope everybody traded well today. Looking forward to Wednesday.